Are we rocking and rolling? Cool. Okay. Board of Adjustment meetings are held in person at the meeting hall on the second floor of the Bernardsville Municipal Building, 166 Brook Road. Members of the public wishing to offer comment or ask questions will be required to attend meetings in person. The agenda for each meeting will be posted on the borough website, bernardsville.gov, for the borough hall, and the planning department public bulletin boards at least 48 hours prior to the meetings. Notice of the 2026 meeting dates has been published in the Bernardsville News, sent to the Courier News, posted on the borough website, and filed with municipal clerk all on January 22nd, 2026. It's the intention of the board not to convene any matter past 11 p.m. at any regular or special meeting of the board unless a motion is passed by the members then present to extend to a later specified cutoff time. Members of the public may participate in meetings at certain designated times as announced by the board chair. Members of the public will be permitted to address applicants and their experts, ask questions and or make comments as appropriate once invited to do so. Any hearing conducted by the board is a quasi-judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision. Decorum appropriate to judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. Roll call, please.
Yeah.
Wait. You know what?
That's right. We have to.
We got to do the other thing. We have to do Diane.
You have the oath of office. If you could stand up, raise your right hand, and rather than follow me, read the oath of office. When you're done, sign it, slide it over to me.
Okay.
Thank you.
I, Diane Greenfield, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of the office of Board of Adjustment Alternate 1 according to the best of my ability, and that I will not use my office to grant preferential treatment nor to seek personal gain, favor, or advantage not available to the general public, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And
Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
This is what we want to have.
Roll call then.
Now you can do the roll call.
Mr. Delarusso is absent. Mr. Greenbaum?
Here.
Ms. Greenfield?
Here.
Ms. Kramer is absent. Mr. McDowell is absent. Mr. Malillo?
Here.
Mr. Dollar is absent. And Mr. Slocum?
Here.
We have forms.
Thank you. So we have meeting minutes from April 6th and May 4th. Let's do the 6th first. Does anybody have any corrections or additions? Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Rebecca?
I'm not eligible. I was absent.
Okay, I'll second it then. There's nobody else.
When in doubt.
I haven't run into that one before. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, the 6th is approved, April 6th. We have minutes from May 4th. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to those minutes? Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion again.
Second.
Now we can do it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, those minutes are done. Cool.
We didn't get the June 1st yet.
Yeah, I saw that. That's okay. We're catching up.
Yes.
We got correspondence from the attorney for the Davies application requesting to postpone the hearing from tonight, which is why nobody's here. And I said we would do that. We will postpone it to a date in October. And multiple reasons. The September date has a residential application on it now and may have an additional, it's possible. So we're up to October, and there's 2 meetings in October. And so the question is, there's a potential residential application for, another potential application for October. which is the Jessica Associates application. And that might be ready for the first meeting in October.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts on that one.
Yeah, how complicated is that application? Do you have any insight on that one, Mark?
Not very complicated at all, but the 19th was the availability date, the second one. The professionals aren't available on the 12th or whatever.
On the
first-
third?
The third,
The
the third.
The Jessica application professionals are not available.
Right.
Okay,
But on the second one, yes.
okay, so then we will schedule Davies for the,
Third?
schedule for October 3rd,
Okay.
7:30 in this meeting hall. And notice, no further notice is required. Lou, please reach out to the attorney and make
It's the
sure.
fifth.
Is it 5th?
It's the fifth.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the 3rd didn't sound right.
Is he expected to hear from you, us, you, me, or both of us, or?
Well, I want to make sure that,
Okay,
Well, I
that
can
we don't-
communicate with them and I'll copy you. How's that?
okay, great, great.
that's fine. So it's October 5th at 7:30 in this room. Notice is preserved, no further notice required. But let's make sure also that time to make a decision, it covers.
It's waived, yeah.
Yeah, so we need to make sure that we're not running out of time on the application.
Few months back.
I don't know for what date.
Was his notice for tonight good? Because,
Yes,
We had counted.
because we carried it. We
Fine.
carried it to either
Okay.
the 17th or the 24th, depending upon what the council did.
all right.
And they grabbed the 17th. Thank you.
Okay.
And so we,
And that
we're
goes on the
meeting on the
website
24th.
for the public. And the October 5th date goes on our website so the public can,
Well, the October 5th is already,
It's already noticed.
it's already.
no, I'm as far as the agenda and the fact that this
Well,
will be. No.
Yeah,
Okay, we're good.
but it was on for tonight's meeting, as it should have been. And we're announcing that it's not going to be heard tonight, it'll be heard on October 5th.
Were you here for that, sir? The Davies on Route 202? Yes. You're the only. You're the one. Not just. We had scheduled an application. Okay, if you're here for that, we're not going to hear it. You just had nothing else to do tonight, is that? Okay.
Not a problem. Okay, so that takes care of correspondence. We now have a resolution for adoption, which is the Costello. This one. And Mr. Bolio had a couple of changes. I will read it as changed.
Yep.
And if we do anything else, changes. I missed the, yeah. The big one's at the end. I got it.
And the other one is, it's tricky. It's on,
It's one letter.
yeah, it's on the,
Oh, there it is. It's on 9. It's on bottom of page 3.
Yeah, the G,
Yeah.
G in front of store. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
yeah, it's tricky.
Okay, so the matter of Costello Ace hardware application number 25-09, whereas an application for a use variance and amended final site plan approval has been filed by Costello Ace Hardware. Hereinafter designated the applicant to the Borough of Bernardsville Zoning Board of Adjustment. Hereinafter designated the board for property located at 80 Morristown Road, Bernardsville, New Jersey, and more specifically known as Block 64, Lot 1.01 on the tax map of the Borough of Bernardsville. Hereinafter designated the Borough of Somerset County, New Jersey, with said premises being located within the downtown corridor zone, DC zone, which permits retail use but does not permit outdoor storage or outdoor displays of merchandise. And whereas a public hearing was held on January 12th and April 6th with regard to this application, and whereas the board has heard the testimony and evidence presented by the applicant, witnesses, consultants, and with the public having had a full opportunity to participate, and whereas the applicant filed an affidavit of proof that publication and notice of the hearing was given as required by NJSA 40:55B-12, and whereas a complete application has been filed, the fees required by ordinance have been paid, and it otherwise appears that jurisdictional powers of the board have been properly invoked and exercised, and now therefore be it resolved that the Zoning Board of Adjustment of the Borough of Bernardsville, County, Somerset, State of New Jersey, on the 24th day of August 2026, made the following finding conclusions with regard to this application. Findings of fact: 1, the applicant provided adequate notice of the application and the hearing in accordance with statute. 2, the applicant was represented by Anthony J. Spasaro, Esquire. 3, initially, the board fully considered and granted the completeness waivers as more specifically set forth in memorandum of the board planner dated October 31st, 2025. In that memorandum, there were noted 2 items that were either missing or the subject of a checklist waiver requested by the applicant. The board planner offered no objection to the granting of the requested checklist waivers so that the matter could proceed to a public hearing. 4, based on the application and the attachments, amended site plan, property survey, statement of reasons as prepared by the applicant, photographs, letter reports, and memoranda from the board consultants and board advisory committees, and from the testimony and exhibits set forth both at the hearing, it would appear that the applicant is seeking a use variance pursuant to NJSA 40:55D-70D1 and amended final site plan approval in order to provide for outdoor storage of merchandise, propane tanks, and seasonal displays on the subject property. In addition to a use variance and amended final site plan approval, there are existing non-conforming conditions that are not changing as a result of this application, including maximum lot coverage, maximum front yard setback, minimum side yard setback for parking, minimum rear yard setback for parking, and maximum primary street driveways. 5, the subject property is located in the downtown corridor sub-district of the Borough Downtown District and contains approximately 358,688 square feet, or approximately 8.23 acres. The property is presently developed with the retail center known as Bernardsville Center. The site is irregularly shaped with approximately 775 feet of frontage on Morristown Road, and the center presently contains 32 tenants and associated driveways with surface parking as well as landscaping. The Bernardsville Center website states that there are approximately 425 on-site parking places, and the applicant is the anchor tenant for the center. Surrounding land uses include residential uses to the north, commercial uses to the east, south, and west, as well as a public high school to the west. 6, originally, the applicant proposed to store merchandise and propane tanks outside the applicant's location on the property. Specifically, the applicant originally planned to store 6 standard-sized propane display cases to the right of the main entrance of the store encased by bollards for safety purposes. Each standard display holds up to 18 propane tanks. The applicant is also planning to have seasonal displays directly outside the main entrance of the store within a 3-foot by 47-foot space. Further, the applicant proposes to store merchandise and products outside the rear entrance of the store in an area consisting of approximately 1,004 square feet, contained within a 6-foot high black metal chain link fence. Subsequent to the initial hearing on this application and prior to the second hearing on April 6th, 2026, the applicant revised the site plans pursuant to comments received at the initial hearing. Plans change included providing a 4-foot unobstructed pedestrian access along the front of the building, relocating the propane storage area to the rear of the building, and modifying the outdoor storage area at the front and rear of the building. 7, at the original hearing of January 12, 2026, Joseph Caracciolo, Director of Project Management for Ace Hardware, testified on behalf of the application. Mr. Caracciolo described the site plan as now being proposed and commented that the bollard would protect the propane tanks from motor vehicles. To make room for the propane tanks, the witness stated that the existing swing and shed would be removed. The propane tanks at this location would be for exchange, and there would be no filling of propane tanks on the subject property. All propane deliveries would take place in the rear of the property. The witness further stated that the storage area would be for mulch, soil, and other similar merchandise, and this would be enclosed within a 6-foot high cyclone fence with black vinyl siding in order to minimize visibility. It was indicated that everything stored at this location would be located on pallets, and the area would be under video surveillance at all times. As for outdoor displays of material, the witness discussed the revised site plans with the board. With regard to the outdoor displays in the front of the building, Mr. Michello stated the applicant would maintain a 4-foot wide clear path between the front of the store and the displays themselves. With regard to propane, the witness stated that the proposed bollards would be made of steel and concrete, and that the original 6 proposed storage cases would now be reduced to 4. As for outdoor storage of business materials, this would take place at the rear of the building in an area approximately 12 foot by 25 foot in size, and that the site had been relocated to make it more accessible. In response to questions by members of the board, the witness stated that he had reviewed the reports of the board planner and the board engineer and would comply with all recommendations contained therein. The witness also confirmed that as-built plans for the entire site and for the specific application would be provided to the board, and that all prior conditions of approval will continue to apply to this site. The witness also stated that the applicant would mark the Manager of Costello's H Hardware showed photographs of the site indicating the front of the store, and this is a T that's been added. Loading docks at the rear of the building and the loading dock area with the pallets that the applicant utilizes for storage of materials. The witness stated that there will be no propane tanks located or exchanged within the building itself. Brenda Kernan, the managing member of the LLC, owners of the subject property since 2001, discussed prior conditions regarding the entire center and stated the owner is preparing a new application to the planning board to address the borough's concerns. 11, Matthew Flynn, a licensed use planner, testified on behalf of the application. Mr. Flynn indicated that what the applicant was seeking was not a wholesale change, but was requesting focused relief involving the propane tanks, outdoor storage materials, and outdoor displays. The witness indicated that the sale of propane is permitted and that would be an ancillary use to the permitted use of the retail establishment. Were satisfied, and the board would be justified in granting the use variance and amended site plan relief requested by the applicant. These subparagraphs related to the appropriate use and development of the land and the providing of sufficient space in the appropriate locations for a variety of uses. With regard to negative criteria, Mr. Flynn offered his opinion that this was satisfied as well, and that the Bernardsville Center was set back a significant distance from Morristown Road, and the use proposed was an appropriate use of the hardware store space, and the outdoor displays, storage materials, and propane exchange were typical for a hardware store such as the applicant's. 12, no members of the public commented either in favor of or in opposition to the application. Conclusions of law. Whereas pursuant to the municipal land use law, specifically NJSA 40:55D-70D, the board may grant relief from the strict application of any zoning regulations in particular cases and for special reasons developed by the case law. Based upon the testimony and evidence presented, the board finds for the reasons set forth in the body of this resolution that the applicant has satisfied the requirements for the granting of the requested use variance and amended final site plan approval. With regard to the requested variance, the board is of the view that the subject property is uniquely suited for the proposal, given the fact that this property and the structures thereon have existed for several years, and the request for outdoor displays of seasonal products, outdoor propane tank exchange, and business supply and material storage at the rear of the building could be considered normal ancillary requests for a hardware store of this size at this location. The proposal from the applicant does not alter the current use of the property, and the proposed development does not conflict with any master plan or policy or goals. The board also notes that there are no new dimensional variances required for this proposal, and the providing of outdoor seasonal displays and outdoor propane exchanges clearly meet consumer needs. The board foresees no substantial negative impacts to the neighborhood zoning ordinance or the borough master plan. Now, therefore, be it resolved, having reviewed the application and considered the impact of the proposal on the borough and its residents, and having determined whether the proposal is in furtherance of municipal land use law, NJSA 40:55D-1 at SEC, and the laws of the borough, and whether the proposal is conducive to the orderly development of the site and the general area in which it is located, the board concludes that good cause has been shown to grant the relief requested by the applicant for a use variance and amended final site plan approval, and be it further resolved by the Zoning Board of Adjustment of the Borough of Bernardsville, the County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, on the 24th day of August, upon the appropriate motion made and seconded, that the application of Costello's A. Swiger be granted subject to the following terms and conditions. And interrupt myself. 24th day of August, should we say 2026 there?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'll take care of that.
Thank you. 1, the applicant shall be bound by the testimony and the plans submitted with this application. However, in the event the plans need to be revised pursuant to the recommendations and comments of the board and the board consultants, same shall be promptly completed, submitted to the board. 2, except where specifically modified by this resolution, the applicant shall be bound by the recommendations contained in all the letter reports and memorandum of the board consultants and borough advisory committees. 3, the use variance and amended final site plan shall be granted for the reasons set forth in the body of this resolution. 4, prior to the issuance of any permits, the zoning officer and the board engineer shall review and approve all plans submitted by the applicant. 5, unless modified herein, the applicant shall be bound by all prior conditions of previous approvals. 6, there shall be no significant changes to the plans unless approved by the board. 7, all propane tanks shall be located outdoors and shall be for exchange only. There shall be no filling of propane tanks at this location. There shall be no propane tanks stored indoors. 8, as agreed to by the applicant, all deliveries to the site shall be at the rear of the building. 9, as agreed to by the applicant shall maintain a 4-foot wide area in the front of the building between the front of the store and the beginning of the outdoor display areas. 10, the applicant shall provide the board and borough with updated as-built plans for the entire site and for this particular application. 11, with regard to any prior conditions of approval for the center, these conditions shall be satisfied to the reasonable satisfaction of the borough prior to any permits being issued for the project that is the subject of this application. 12, the limits for the material storage at the rear of the subject property shall be delineated and shall be set forth on revised plans. 13, as agreed to by the applicant shall maintain a minimum 18-foot wide access at the rear of the property for deliveries and other motor vehicle circulation. Markings will be provided on the pavement to delineate the 18-foot wide aisle. And that was an addition that was made also. 14, the applicant shall submit proof of payment of all real estate taxes for the property. 15, the applicant shall pay in a timely manner all outstanding and future fees and escrow charges, and shall post all performance guarantees in connection with the review of this application prior and subsequent to the approval of this application. 16, the applicant shall be responsible for obtaining of any other approvals or permits from other governmental agencies as may be required by law, and the applicant shall comply with any requirements or conditions of such approvals or permits, including but not limited to the municipality's compliance with any low and moderate housing regulations. If, however, compliance with other conditions would result in a plan that differs from the one approved by the board herein, the applicant shall return to the board for all appropriate relief. 17, if required, the applicant shall submit revised site plans containing all required additions and corrections for review and approval by the borough engineer. When so approved, applicant shall file 6 copies of the final plans with the borough engineer for his signature and transmission to the board's administrative officer. 18, the applicant shall be bound by all exhibits introduced, all representations made, and all testimony given before the board at its meetings of January 12th and April 16th, 2026. Okay, so one comment.
I have those 3 modifications.
Yeah, number 11, that's the little gem
Yeah.
that says,
Yeah,
no, that's the one that says
She's
that
got it
Bernard
done.
Center has to get
everything.
everything done by the planning board before this application, that before they can get permits for this application.
And that was the big discussion, because it was what, how many years they've
Yes.
been running with
Yeah.
never being complete.
Right.
And you said, I think it was you, made the point that needs to be completed before you can go set your displays up and everything else, correct? I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm glad you noted that.
Yeah, 11
But I
was-
wanted you to focus on that. I think it covers it, but.
This is and I think we need more there. I don't think it's clear enough.
Oh, whatever.
Because Costello's is doing their displays in front. I don't know if they've done any construction for the bollards in back or not. They're putting
But you know what I have to say though, David, they have been, whatever they're doing, it's not really like a full big display, but they are keeping the 4 foot.
Yeah.
Because I go in there enough to see, not on purpose, but I mean, just naturally see it if it's 4
We have
foot.
a hardware store.
It's a hardware store, I'm in there a lot. So, but the 11 that's the big one. Can it be explained, Lou, in more plain language? Just like David said, if this isn't done, this doesn't go, like you said.
Prior conditions of approval for the center, whether, was this the first time they were in front of us?
Yes.
Okay, maybe with regard to any prior conditions of approval for the center by the planning board, comma, these conditions shall be satisfied, so we can mention that was the planning board conditions as well as what we put in here.
The planning board beats it up.
Does that, you told me that was a mess.
Well, I have, so, Bernardsville Center has been working on getting final inspections done to take care of those things. However, concurrently, they submitted an application to the planning board to amend some of those outstanding items.
Be there, right?
So,
What,
so
so the planning
So
board
they're
makes
not gonna
additional
get-
conditions or new conditions or
they're going
revised?
to get sign off on the outstanding items until they come to the board and the board grants them relief.
Another year.
Yeah, I mean, that was your point. It was like, go do the work.
Yeah, but it was supposedly they were outstanding items that could be closed. And if they're now asking for relief from some of those outstanding items, then we're talking about an entirely new application to the planning board, which is going to take a year.
Well, I don't know that it will take that long. One of the items, for example, is that they didn't construct islands in a certain location. It was just striping
Yeah.
at the recommendation of, and possibly of the buyer. Because there wasn't enough turning radius, and they did submit a copy of communication from the fire chief regarding that.
Yeah.
But
So
if they-
that's one of the things.
if they want something different from the planning board, and if David says, let's assume it's gonna take 6 months to a year, that mean, according to what I thought you wanted, what we approved, zoning board approved, can't be permitted until they take care of that. Now, do we wanna hold this up? Do we wanna hold up the request to us for 6 months to a year because of the things? I mean,
Because
that's-
they're now starting a new application. And
unless I
it
think
is
with
really
current,
difficult, but I don't think that's right. I don't know how you feel, Mark.
No, I think, I hear what you're saying. I think that this little segment of what they're asking for, call it outdoor storage and rear storage at Costello's, shouldn't be in the big picture. I think we had a good intention, but now
But it became much more
complicated than
than what
the
we
intention.
originally.
Yeah, I would agree to that.
So the question is, and I know the whole board isn't here, do we strike 11? Do we leave it there and let the construction official go ahead with the permit even though condition 11 is there? How do we handle it?
Do we put a timeline
Well-
on condition 11? Do you give them 2-year window or something? They come back and say, you never completed what you said. We could be here 2 years from now, it never gets done. And they continued with their whole thing. I mean, there's gotta be some,
Yeah,
if it didn't take so many years to get it done, right? It
Yeah, I mean-
wouldn't have been a question.
The whole center's been just a long process every time they start something.
well, 11 talks about prior conditions, and we could add prior conditions, prior planning board conditions of approval. And if they, in the meantime, revise those, then they could argue that this doesn't pertain to
Right.
anything new, which might be good, because if anything new takes months or years, then
Okay, so
mean-
that adding the word prior might be,
With
well,
regard-
it is there.
with
Prior
regard to
condition.
any prior planning board conditions of approval.
Isn't the concern that the application itself is going to take a year, not necessarily them complying afterwards?
They seem to be pretty motivated to move this along as quickly as
Have they
possible.
said anything to you about
11?
this being unfair to what the big picture is, or haven't they even noticed it?
No one has communicated
Okay.
anything about that. The owner of the center had just inquired about the timing for the adoption of this resolution.
So we could make it, with regard to any prior planning board conditions of approvals, okay. They're supposedly set right now, whatever those
The
conditions are.
conditions are set, yeah.
Okay. If they make new conditions, then we either,
Yeah, but they can't resolve the prior conditions if they're choosing to appeal
Those conditions.
those conditions.
Well, if they have prior conditions that are unsatisfied, and they go back to the planning board's either going to have them satisfy them, or they're going to void them as part of the new conditions, right? The planning board.
Right, but that whole
presumably, yeah.
process takes a number of months.
were you here for this time? Because the board wanted everything cleaned up before these approvals
Yeah.
for the propane and the displays, tail wagging the dog kind of,
Yeah.
before they were permitted or given permits, which is good, but
Is that message on the screen meaningful?
It keeps coming up and I keep.
For the January hearing on this, but I was absent for the April, when it was actually
prior
approved.
to any prior. We could just leave it prior planning board conditions, and if they somehow come up with new conditions, they could
Well-
argue to us, probably successfully, that this did not pick up, because we didn't know what was gonna happen in the future.
It could have been, it could take a long time to
Yeah.
do those, but at least these that they committed to finish. I get your point, David, like, why are we holding displays up for this?
And the mulch and or
And the
whatever.
mulch in the back where they, I mean, they did.
I'd like the hardware store to be running properly.
Yeah, they did do a great redrawing
Yeah.
of that back. It's so much safer now and secure.
Take it out? Do we take a
Well,
lemon out?
that's why, part of me says we about it. And I think that there's a legal argument for if the applicant is trying to get some of those conditions changed by the planning board, it shouldn't hold up this.
Yes.
The ones that they're not appealing, we want resolved.
Right.
That's another way to look at it.
If I was Sarah, I would say anything new, forget this, we'll do this pertaining to what was in effect now.
Yeah, you know
And
what?
If we resolve all those,
So if we say any prior unresolved planning board conditions of approval.
any prior,
Unresolved and unappealable, like what?
I wouldn't say unappealable. All of a sudden, we're getting it really complicated.
unresolved,
It needs to be in English that people can understand.
The planning board will need to
drop the hammer on it.
enforce that these things get completed.
Yeah,
They gotta make sure that
yeah. So let's say unresolved prior planning board conditions.
unresolved prior planning board, good. That way, anything new, they can argue sensibly that it's not picked up by this, and they can go ahead and do their propane and,
So that, I guess that's better.
yeah.
It's,
No, it's good.
this one's hard. Because the whole point was that our professional engineer made was that there's all these conditions that they still haven't addressed.
Right.
As part of Bernard Center. So why would we give them?
Jurisdiction. Yeah, that's another question, but.
Okay.
With that,
So with the modifications, is there anything else? All right, this one's another tough one. If you weren't here for the second meeting.
I'll get these to you tomorrow with
Yeah,
the
there's only two.
Being you and me, buddy. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution as amended.
I'll second it.
Well, this is gonna be a first for you, David.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. No.
land use law allows you to do it with one. I mean, if David was the only one eligible, he would move it, second it, and vote, which doesn't make sense.
Haven't run into that one before.
No.
I think this is the first time I've seconded motions that I've,
All right.
in however many years, been a long time, like 14 or 15.
I think that was a good modification on 11. I think it's.
Yeah,
fair.
11 was tough. I mean, that was hanging out there. I knew you picked up.
Especially since, well, I wanted to make sure I knew what we were doing. And then to find out that there's more going on, it's like, oh. All right.
Good news, thanks.
Yeah. So,
Keep that in mind.
Yeah,
Thank
you.
In the loop.
So we have bills. Should we pay the bills? This guy wants more money. Jesus, he wants a lot of money.
Man, this-
You weren't heavy this.
Man does not live by, no.
He's $1,300 of a $3,100 bill. Come on, don't tell me he's not heavy.
Third.
Thanks, David. My buddy. Lou, Bill, what you want? I'll support you. Oh, boy.
All right, should we pay the bills?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Second it?
Roll call, please. Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Greenfield
Yes.
and Mr. Brook.
Yes.
You got it. Vote.
Excellent vote, Ms. Green.
Thank you.
Your virginal vote.
Well, and what's more important is, we needed 4 people to hold this meeting.
Yes.
It's critical that you're here.
You are. I'm honored.
All right, so the only thing we have left is upcoming applications. So Davies, we moved to October. The Alexander application is on September. Ed's going to be the chair for that meeting, because I will be on a boat.
We could zoom you in, no?
Out in the ocean. Look at faces. That was a no. It was a no.
It is a sea day.
Trouble.
Can I ask a question? So Denise, I'm looking at the Bernardsville website, and I'm looking at our subpage. It says upcoming zoning board meetings, and September 22nd isn't on there. It's not on the little summary of the upcoming meetings. It's raising.
We've been having some issues with the calendar. So it's on the calendar, it's there.
Yeah, but not on that sort of like
Yeah,
snapshot.
but,
Okay.
People.
Getting a new website.
Yeah.
So.
I've already seconded, I think.
As a-
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we have issues with it.
Nobody's perfect, and oh, by the way, as soon as you pick somebody, they redo their website with, their framework. 6 months after you pick them, and it's all screwed up again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the web is a wonderful thing.
You know where Tom is looking?
Yeah, yeah.
There are, when we put things in. Whenever you have to put it in multiple places, and sometimes it doesn't carry through.
Okay.
So that's like a separate entry and it doesn't control.
So the 11th all application is one that Denise says has been going back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, and the submission, I'm waiting to hear back from the attorney, they submitted a plan that conflicts with what they submitted before that without any explanation, so we're trying to get clarification.
It's a patio
What it says,
with
Yeah,
a rear,
yeah. I thought you said patio.
a patio,
Sounds like.
patio setback issue. Okay.
all right, well, hopefully they get it resolved, they can get it taken care of on the 22nd. Jessica's now scheduled for the second meeting in October. And Petrosillo is a completely new application. Haven't seen that one before. That's gonna be an interesting conversation. Primary dwelling and convert an existing cottage into an accessory dwelling. So the existing cottage is the primary dwelling. That'll be an interesting
Yes.
conversation. Okay,
And this is for Jessica, right?
Yes, that's a, yes.
you get it ahead of us.
All right.
So that's what we got coming up. So we got a busy end of the year. Any other questions or comments from anybody? Comments from the public?
Watching how the sausage is made.
I hope it's not too ugly. Because I used to be in the meat business. You know I make sausage.
In fact, he wrote,
You talking about the jungle? The jungle Sinclair? Yeah, I read that many years ago. Many years ago, I read that.
he fell for that.
Down in Haiti making sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Jesus.
Back when Baby Doc was in.
Duvalier.
Yeah. Francois, not Jean-Claude. Francois was dad, Jean-Claude was the son.
Did the country run at least? I mean,
Yeah, it did.
trains ran on time, but
It did run.
now it's.
And now it's a mess.
Did we adjourn and I missed it? Or?
No,
Okay.
no. Ed's there.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Good man.
Yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Don?
But Don, Baby died.
Yeah.
Was Baby died like crazy? It was